Hi, I'm going to talk about Recipe, which is a poem written by John Agard, and I'm going to present a bit about this, and I'm Ruben Brandt. First off, I'm going to talk about the language in John Agard poet, Pan Recipe. And first of all, I have a point here that's called recipe. And it's because the language in the poem is inspired a bit of language you will find in a recipe. We have this foil voice of drum at pitch of pain, it says in the poem. And this is some of these words you would normally find in a recipe, like foil something. That's something you often see in a recipe, or at a pitch of something. Normally I would say a pitch of salt or something, but in this case it's a pitch of pain. But it's because it's not a recipe; it's a poem in a style of a recipe. And then the next point in language I made is contrast, and it's because we have this recipe language, and then we have some maybe a bit rough language between, and that gives the poem a big contrast in the language. And I have a few examples here. First, rape a people, simmer for centuries, bring memories to boil. And we have this simmer for centuries in a contrast to bring memories to boil and first rape people. So we have some like normal recipe language in this poem, but we also have some more rough language, and this create a very good contrast in the language, which is very nice to see and very nice to read for the reader. The language also has a bit of metaphors in it, and I've taken two out. I'm just going to talk about. And the first one is ripe well like hell. This is a metaphor because you can't ripe like hell, because hell is an abstract sort of thing, but it tells you how much you should ripe or how well you should ripe. You have to ripe it like it's hell. That's just a metaphor. And at a pinch of pain, this is like a metaphor because you can't at a pitch of pain, but it's a way to let the reader know how much pain is it you have to add to this recipe. Now I'm going to talk a bit about structure in this poem. The poem is built with one Santos sa, and in this satsa we have 19 verses, and each verse is short, only a few words, some of them only 3 words, and yeah, and I've written a recipe as the next point, and it's because the verses, like I told just 2 seconds ago, is very short and made like kind of step in a recipe, and that's one of the reasons I think the poem is built up with just one satsa, and then a lot of small verses, because it has to be like a recipe that's part of the like theme of this uh, poem. And theme of this poem, the first one I written is stress, and it because this poem is a lot about the stress you build up after being after such a bad crime has been after you've been a victim of such a bad crime. And I've taken out 2 small quotes from the text, and the first is, "And leave mixture alone, when ready will explode." And it's because when you first put a bit of stress in a person, like the one talked about in this poem, you can just let it stand for itself for time, and then with time the stress will build up so much it will almost explode. Then I've written pain as another theme of this poem, and it's because this poem is a lot about the pain that comes with these crimes that are talked about. And I have a little quote that says, "Add a pinch of pain." Like, just a little bit of pain can do a lot for these people. And the third and last theme of this poem is dreadful things. And it's because this poem has a kind of has a evil vibe to it, maybe you can say it that way. But I have a quote that says, "First-rate people simmer for centuries." That's a dreadful thing to do, because it's bad to rape people and then just kind of wait for centuries for it to explode. And one of the assignments with this presentation was that I had to write my own poem in the style of a recipe, and I'm just going to read it now. Step 1. First, go to local club, find lonely drunk girl, mix her drink with drugs, then wait 13 minutes. Take her to dirty alley, remove clothes, rape her like you mean it. Step 2. Now get rid of the blacked out girl, remove any trace of you, leave no footprint. Find waste container, dump lonely drunk girl, now wait till next Saturday and do it all over again. And that was my poem, and I don't have any more now, so good night.